You are listening to the Mark Lesko Podcast, a podcast by diehard fans for fans. You are listening to the Mark Lesko Podcast, a podcast by diehard fans for fans. Mark covers all things Penn State football and the Pittsburgh Steelers, as well as anything related to the sports and fitness world. Tune in weekly to listen to a couple of dedicated fans talk about these topics without filters. Thank you for listening to the Mark Lesko Podcast.
All right, everybody, I guess we're live. I don't know if that was having some trouble loading at the beginning there, but welcome in. Joined by Brett once again to talk Penn State football, the Orange Bowl, taking on Notre Dame. Brett and I were talking a little bit about our bowl history, first of all. So I'm going to pull that up real quick. Oh, what the heck? And so you guys can see that. But so pretty much we haven't played in an Orange Bowl since 2006. All right. So we haven't played in a Rose Bowl since Orange Bowl. What am I saying? Since 2005, if you will. We beat Florida State.
Great game.
Last major bowl win. What's that?
Great game.
Yeah. Our last major bowl win was this year, but before that it was against Utah in the Rose Bowl.
Yep.
We've lost the Peach. Franklin's lost the Peach Bowl with us, the Outback, the Citrus Bowl, and the Rose Bowl, the Tax Slayer Bowl. All right, so pretty much 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So he's 5-5 in bowls with us. And again, like the last major bowl we won before Boise was Rose Bowl. So he has a good record. His presser today, he's wearing camo. It's a good look for sure. I like that camo. Just camo, you can't go wrong with camo, man. So really you can't. But we take on Notre Dame in the Orange Bowl Thursday the 9th. And we will potentially play Ohio State or Texas. I thought for sure that Georgia would beat Notre Dame. I guess I was wrong about Georgia, man.
I called it.
Yeah, you did.
Mm-hmm.
I thought they would produce more on offense with their backup, but they didn't. As always, a lot of people talking crap in the comments. And Notre Dame fans are sure that they're going to win.
They're more delusional than any other fan I've ever listened to. Like, it's bad. It's bad. Saying they're going to dog walk us, which is hilarious because that would never happen.
Ohio State actually wins games. I still think they're the most delusional fan base in football, but college football. But Notre Dame says we're going to lose to them convincingly. All right, bring on the Irish. Playing Notre Dame every year in the early 80s, 90s was really exciting to watch. Definitely have a lot of history there, for sure.
Two blue bloods?
Two blue blood programs. Joey. Penn State has a lot of good historic games against Notre Dame. Last time we played Notre Dame was in 2007. That was the Jimmy Clausen era. We beat them pretty convincingly then too. And, that was a 31-10 game. That's when the likes of Justin King were on the team. Anthony Morelli was the quarterback. Stuff like that. That's when
Derek Williams.
Team, Derek Williams, Deion Butler, Maurice Evans, Josh Gaines.
Great team.
Dan Connor. All those guys. Anthony Scarrato. That's when Derek Williams had that big punt return. I remember that. Todd Blackledge was calling that game with, I can't even remember the other guy's name, the announcer. but he wasn't that good. Like a well-known like broadcaster in the sense that he did a lot, but I was never a fan of his. He would just he just wasn't that good. And then, dude, we had those years after the scandal where we had like terrible announcers for every game. Like, I forget that one lady. She announces for ESPN sometimes. We had her all the time. We just had like bad game commentators because we were getting bad TV airtimes because we had a scandal. So that
now
kind
we get good air times and we get bad TV commentators still.
yeah, exactly. Yeah. So, my favorite is like Todd Blackledge, Noah Eagle. His dad is Ian Eagle. Todd Blackledge, probably my favorite. I know, Brett, you like Kirk Herbstreit. I can't stand him whatsoever. I like Chris Fowler, State College guy. Who else? I like Brad Nessler, and I think it's the Danielson guy, Gary Danielson from CBS. I like those guys a lot. Those guys, I've been doing that a long time. Vern Lundquist was pretty good.
Yeah.
But not to get off on a tangent, but yeah, Joey, you're right. We've had a lot of good games. I remember the Snow Bowl. I think it was 93. Jerome Bettis was on that team. Yeah, a lot of back and forth, man. I think the time we played before, like 06 and 07, we got killed in 06 by Brady Quinn. I think before that, though, we played in like the 80s. It was Lou Holtz. They came here and we beat them. It was like -20 out. So a lot of historic games there, man. It used to be like Pitt, West Virginia, Notre Dame. Those were like the number 1 and number 2 all the time. Us playing against each other. You know, it's not like that anymore. But good history with Notre Dame. Good history for us with the Orange Bowl. But again, last time we played in the Orange Bowl, 2005. It was, we played. I think it was like January of 06.
Yeah.
Beat Florida State, and then before that, there was like the down years, if you will, like 94. Well, obviously not 94, but played like they're in the 90s. In the 80s, we were the dynasty, like Alabama was. But like in the early 2000s, we played in the Outback Bowl, or was it? Yeah, so in 99, we beat Tim Couch and Kentucky in the Outback Bowl. 2000, we beat for the 99 season, we played in the Alamo Bowl, won 24-0. That was Jerry Sandusky's last game. And once again, all of the horrible stuff that happened aside, Jerry Sandusky was one of the best coaches to ever walk the face of the earth. He was really good. They picked off Vinny Testaverde 5 times in the national title game. And Vinny Testaverde, to this day, one of the most decorated college quarterbacks ever. He was really good. And then we didn't play again until 2003. We had those down years. 2002 was a decent year. I think that's when they beat Nebraska and all that stuff. And then we had like 4 or 5 picks in the first 2 rounds. We had 3 or 4 first-round picks. We had like Jimmy Kennedy, Bryant Johnson, Larry Johnson, and then another defensive lineman. I think it was Jerome Hayes.
What happened to Tony Johnson? He didn't make it to the NFL, right? He was a good college.
No.
He was a good college receiver. I mean, he was pretty good, but he didn't.
Played at State College. Yeah.
Yeah. He played with his brother.
And then after 03, we didn't play again until 06. Those were like our down years. There in the early 2000s were a bunch of down years. 2005 is when they really turned it around. And then they beat Aaron Foster in Tennessee in the Outback Bowl. They beat Texas A&M, and I can tell you these without even looking at it. But Texas A&M, they beat them in the Alamo Bowl. Got smoked in the Rose Bowl by USC, probably the best team in the country that year.
Mm-hmm.
Capital One Bowl, they beat LSU. That was the Mud Bowl, pretty much. And then we consistently we consistently went to bowl games until we had our scandal, but lost in the Outback Bowl to Florida. I remember that. Matt McGloin had 5 interceptions. Ticket City Bowl, that was after the scandal. Nick Suke in that game. He was absolutely horrendous. They gave up so many points and touchdowns to Case Keenum, who I think is still the all-time passing leader in college football. He had like six touchdowns against us. Like,
when the last time we played Georgia, we beat them in a bowl game, right? Last time we played them.
No, we lost against Georgia in the Tax Slayer Bowl.
I thought we won that game.
No, because I remember that game, man. That was a horrible game because Hackenberg.
No, we lost by. Yeah.
I think Hackenberg was in that game. And then. Right? Was that Hackenberg or was that McSorley? I think that must have been. Yeah, it was Hackenberg.
It was Hackenberg. Yeah.
Because I remember there was 2 guys from Penn State. There was a guy from Penn State and a guy from Georgia who both went to East Mississippi Community College. They were on Last Chance U.
Yeah, we only lost by a touchdown. It's not.
Not too bad. It was just. It was just tough to watch.
Yeah.
And then we lost in the Rose Bowl for that Cinderella season.
Crazy game.
Bowl Saquon's last year.
Yeah,
that was a crazy game. Lost to Kentucky. Benny Snell was on that team. Devin White, I think, was also on that team.
We should have never lost that game, though. That was a terrible game. Terrible game.
Like 4th overall.
McSorley had a rough game, but he was hurt. Yeah. He was playing hurt.
Who's that?
McSorley was playing hurt in that game. I remember that. Yeah. So that's why we lost. Yeah.
Memphis Tigers.
Beat them.
Beat Cotton. That's when Journey Brown had that crazy run.
53 points in a bowl game.
Dude, I remember that Arkansas game too, man. That was freaking horrible. I think Sean Clifford played most of that game.
We had some opt-outs, though. We did.
Yeah. And we really turned it around in the Rose Bowl.
Yep.
Against Utah, smoked Utah. The Peach we lost last year, that was horrible. Just a bad game to watch. But again, no offense coordinator, bunch of opt-outs. Like, we had
no defensive coordinator.
Didn't play. McGloin got knocked out in the locker room and didn't play the Ticket City Bowl. Yeah. That was shoot, I forget the guy's name, but he almost broke his jaw, I think.
Jesus.
Good old Matt McGloin, he wasn't the best teammate, I don't think, from what I remember. Has a pretty good podcast now, but I think Rob Bolden played in that game, and he was absolutely horrendous as a quarterback.
I think he took a break from the podcast because I haven't seen him. He used to do it with Hannafin, right? Yeah, Tom Hannafin.
He did it with Hannafin?
He used to do it with Hannafin, I'm pretty sure. Now Hannafin's been doing it with Justin King. So Justin King was a newer addition to that podcast. Yeah,
because Hannafin, that's the same guy. He does like boxing and WWE, I think.
Yeah.
But I think it's just WWE. I don't know about the boxing part, but Vance. I remember that. McGloin is mouthing off to. Gosh darn it, I can't remember, man. I can't remember the guy's name. There was a guy, some local guys from Central PA that played at Penn State for a while. There were some guys from like Phillipsburg High School in Pennsylvania, Phillipsburg Osceola High School. I think that was one of the guys that punched McGloin. I think he was the guy that punched him.
I can't remember
that, but I never saw it as the guy shouldn't have punched McGloin. He didn't have like the best reputation. He's pretty cocky. He was a walk-on, so he had that chip on his shoulder and everything. But anyway, keep the comments coming, guys. We'll throw them up. But that's just some history of bowl games. And then again, Brett, like I thought Franklin had to like win. What was the storyline? He had to win the Peach Bowl to
win every 6 major bowl games: the Rose Bowl, the Fiesta Bowl, the Orange Bowl, the Cotton Bowl, and the Sugar Bowl. And there's 6 of them.
He hasn't won.
He hasn't won the Peach Bowl. That's the only one.
So but he won the Sugar Bowl. When did he win the Sugar Bowl?
No, I think Penn State is a program, not Franklin. Penn State is a program.
But
yeah.
And then Texas beat us to it. But
Texas just beat us to it this past week. Yeah.
Yeah, but
barely. They barely.
The storyline is, though, I thought it was he had to win the Orange Bowl to win the 4 major bowls or something like that.
Oh, that could be true, yeah.
Because I think it's rose, sugar, cotton. Yeah, it's definitely rose, sugar, cotton. And then he had to win the orange to get the 4th, whatever.
Well, we still need a sugar then, right? But we haven't. We don't ever get the sugar before because the way it was set up, a Big Ten team wouldn't go to the Sugar Bowl. But now it's a possibility with the new playoff system that we could next year. So, but yeah, I don't think he's played in a Sugar Bowl.
No. But I think the 4 major ones are rose, orange, sugar, and cotton. So he'd have to win, or is it rose, orange, sugar, cotton? So he would have to win. I can't remember what the storyline was, man.
Well, Fiesta's a big bowl too now. So
it's like last year the storyline was he had to win the Orange Bowl to win the 4 major ones or something. So maybe it's rose,
the peach,
cotton, Fiesta, and orange. Or I don't know. I honestly, man, I don't even know. I can't remember. It was just last year.
It was the Peach Bowl you had to win.
Comment, huh?
It was the Peach Bowl. If you won the Peach Bowl, Penn State would have won all six New Year's 6 major bowls. Yeah.
That was the storyline?
Yeah.
Okay.
And Texas beat us to it this past week, barely.
All right. Okay. So, again, big game coming up here. Notre Dame's talking a lot of crap. They've been talking a lot of crap to me on TikTok and YouTube. They say that we're not going to beat them. Their defense is too good. All right, so someone commented, in Morelli's defense, his QB was Jay Paterno, not really setting the guy up for success. That was about the Drew Aller, Anthony Morelli thing.
Mm-hmm.
Someone asked us if we need bail money because we're going to go streaking. Penn State lucked up, whatever that means, and got Boise. The run's over, not getting past a defense like Notre Dame. And I said, I don't think they should even play Notre Dame, just forfeit. So we should just forfeit. Since KPC 41 says we're not going to beat Notre Dame, I don't think we should even play them, man. Let's just...
Yeah, we'll just forfeit.
Brett, screw it, dude. Just don't go.
Yeah.
Just stay here, play in the snow. Just let everybody who can declare, and just let Notre Dame just let Notre Dame get the extra week of rest, and just go play in the national title because we're not going to beat them. So we don't even have to talk about this right now.
Yeah, we're not playing them.
What do you think?
Well, I mean, Franklin and the boys are ready to go, and they're going to play them. So. Yeah. And they're going to show them what an offense looks like, because Notre Dame doesn't have an offense. So they scored 1 touchdown this past week. They scored 1 offensive touchdown, a couple of field goals, and a special teams touchdown, which, by the way, when's the last time Penn State has let up a special teams touchdown? I can't think of it in my lifetime, like in a long time. Probably 10 years, something like that. Like we don't let up special teams touchdowns. That guy ran it back. It was a kickoff return. That does not happen against us.
In the Rose Bowl, didn't we? In
2016?
That dude on USC in 2016, he was a freak of an athlete.
He might have. But even then, that's 8 years ago. So we're not going to let that happen. So good luck scoring points, Notre Dame. Your running back got hurt last week, which I don't like. I hope he's healthy, but they don't have a running game like we do. We have the better 1-2 punch. It's not close. Good try. Thanks for coming out. And when you do come out, you're going to be sent home with an L. Simple as that.
I don't know if they've...
What position is Notre Dame? Oh, position? Well, their quarterback's not better than ours. That's a simple wrong. Running backs, wrong. Receivers, the same as us.
Vance is saying, where are they better than us? They're not.
They're not.
They're Notre Dame, man. They're over.
I'll give them this.
Every single year.
Their cornerback play is probably a little bit better than ours. Ours is good. They have a very good secondary. I will give them that. Other than that, every other position, we're better at. So, nice try.
Abdul Carter, they're not going to announce it, I don't think, they're just not going to tell us if he's.
They asked Franklin. When he said,
yeah.
Franklin said, Abdul Carter has a very good attitude. He's in good spirits. He wants to play. It's just too early to tell, and he's not going to say anything anyways, like we talked
about. Exactly. Don't say a word about whether he's playing or not, because it just don't let Notre Dame know. But he'll be back. He'll play for sure. I think he's okay.
I think so.
Probably not 100%. No one is right now, really.
You saw his story, right? What he posted 2 days in a row.
Star Wars or whatever.
The Octatank, yeah, or whatever it's called.
So, matchup-wise, man, I don't see anywhere where Notre Dame, honestly, where they can beat us. Yeah, their defense is good. They just beat a backup quarterback in Georgia. I thought Georgia would still be Georgia, which I guess Georgia now is not Georgia who I thought they were.
No.
But they were playing against a backup quarterback, so everybody calm down.
Yep.
Their defense beat a backup quarterback, so everybody just calm down. Like in Django Unchained, everybody calm down.
Yep.
After he, that's a great movie. Who's that actor, man? I can't remember that actor, but he's like, everybody calm down. That's what Notre Dame needs to do. Calm down. Just, you guys beat Georgia. Good for you. You didn't beat a Georgia with a starting quarterback. That's probably hard to plug and play with a freshman like that. I'm pretty sure he's a freshman. And then you got Kirby Smart, who, I don't know what he's doing down there. He called his one player an idiot. Half his team has been arrested. He had a freaking fifth-string safety headbutt a ref, which cost him a play. I mean,
well, that part was an accident, but
I don't know what's going on there, but he's kind of lost, it seems, a little bit what he had there in a way. So we're playing a Notre Dame team who Riley Leonard, all right.
90 yards passing, by the way.
Yeah.
90 yards.
I mean, it's like, dude, our defense is going to shut down their offense. If we could stop Ashton Jeanty, we're sure as heck going to stop their running back.
Yeah.
Their defense is not good enough to play our offense. I mean, they're not going to stop our offense. So I just don't see any way how they beat us. There's just no way. And if they... Okay, we're going to win. I don't know by how much, but we're gonna beat them, I think, pretty convincingly. And then we got to hope, because we can beat Texas. I said it at the beginning of the year, but saying it since the summer. We're probably the most talented team in college football, across the board. We're not the most expensive. We're the most talented. Someone said the other day that Ohio State's the most talented roster. No, they're not. They just have a bunch of money in their roster. So it's again, we've got to hope Texas beats Ohio State. I doubt they do, but we got to hope that Texas beats Ohio State. But at the end of the day, man, if we win and Ohio State wins, it's Ohio State versus us. It's the most expensive roster, the most privileged and nose up in the air program that there is in college football, the most delusional fan base that's probably ever existed, against us. We don't have all the money in the world in our roster. We don't have all the NIL money. Franklin he's won one big game in his career. That's not a shot at him. It's just he's won one big, meaningful game pretty much in his career.
More than one.
Bowl games. Huh?
Yeah, some of the bowl games. I mean, we just beat two ranked teams in a row. Two top 10 teams, two top 11.
What I mean, how is Penn State more talented? Mr. Bucknuts. Why is that your name, first of all?
He's a Buckeye, that's why.
Brett, you want to tell him why we're more talented than Ohio State?
Well,
let's start with Will Howard. Let's start with Will Howard. He's not better than Drew Aller, that's for sure. He's in a system. He's lucky with that. He's so lucky that
he has better receivers than Drew Aller.
If you put Drew Aller on Ohio State with all those weapons, oh my God.
Yeah, they're blowing everybody out. Yeah.
Go ahead, tell him.
Well, You said it. So I mean, I wouldn't say I disagree with you like
okay.
wholeheartedly or anything, but you're the one who said it. But
yeah, did I say they're not, Mr. Bucknuts?
yeah, your receivers are better.
Obviously, your receivers are better. We don't have
our running backs are, our running backs are better. As much as you guys like your running backs, our running backs are better. They've proven it.
Better.
Our defensive line is pretty much the same, but you don't have an Bull Carter. We do, so our defensive line's better simply because of that. Your safety is probably a little better. Caleb Downs is very good. I'll give you that. Your cornerbacks hold every play on every receiver, so they suck. Let's see here. Where are we at? Offensive line. Our offensive line is better.
OSU has better receivers. That's it.
Two better receivers. Yeah.
Is it Burke, the one corner? Burke. I honestly, Mr.
Burke,
Bucknuts, like I'm asking you honestly, like, is he going to pan out and be a first-round pick? I mean, everyone was hyping him up. Is he as good as they say he is? I mean, Caleb Downs is good, obviously. I mean, he's
very good.
Minka Fitzpatrick in college. I mean, he's very good. Our defense just held the Ducks to 21 points, bro.
The Ducks look hungover from partying the night before. Also, the Oregon Ducks defense is atrocious. It's very bad. We let you guys score 20 points. They let you score 41. Penn State's defense is leaps and bounds better than Oregon's defense. It's not even debatable. It's not close. Pound for pound, we would destroy. The only reason we lost to Oregon is because our defense that day fell off. It just was a bad game. We haven't shown that we can play that bad against anybody else. Tez Johnson single-handedly beat us. Nobody else beat us. Yeah, the Ducks. Yeah, the Ducks.
Not a single bye-week team won.
Yeah, they haven't played for weeks. And you guys are showing out at the right time. I'll give you that. I'll give you that.
Ohio State, they started fast. That's the whole thing. If Penn State
started fast,
they just got to stop them from starting fast. All they did was start fast. Jeremiah Smith, like, they just started fast, man. And you held the Ducks offense to 21 points. I mean, I don't think it's Ohio State probably got a little better, but more than anything in that game, Oregon they had a bye week. I mean, I think Dan Lanning, who I'm glad they beat Dan Lanning because I don't really like him. They shut him up, that's for sure.
He's snobby,
I think they went into that game pretty arrogantly, and Ohio State just put him to bed. But, yeah, dude, like it.
Penn State got better too, though. So both teams got better.
Like,
so
I think if Penn State plays Ohio State again, I don't know if Ohio State's winning. I don't. You can put up
be a close game again
on Oregon. It really doesn't matter. We put up a lot of points on Oregon too.
37.
I don't know, man. But pretty much it's going to be good versus evil. It's going to be good versus evil. Us versus Ohio State.
Yep.
Us versus evil. I don't know if Mr. Bucknuts, that's Eddie George in his profile picture, which is...
It's a Ohio State player. Yeah.
Yeah, that's Eddie George, I think, which that's a good profile pic, Mr. Bucknuts. I don't know if that's the guy that has the paint on his face. I don't know if that's him or not. He does have a podcast I saw, but I don't know if that's him or not. I don't think so.
It's possible.
But if that is,
I'm not going to say if we play Ohio State, I'm not going to be worried. We have an awful record against them. We lose almost pretty much every time. So yeah, it would be a tough game, but I think Penn State would learn from some of their mistakes. No, I said I'm saying I'm not going to be worried. I'm going to be worried.
I definitely will be. Yeah,
I'll be worried 100%. But I think Andy Kolonicki, I think they can learn from the mistakes. Because we got down the field on you guys, we just didn't score in the red zone, and that game's a different story if we did. So yeah, we'll see.
He's not going to answer us back. But they got Burke, they got Caleb Downs. Yeah, like Vance said, OSU has better receivers than us. That's it. Because dude, as a whole, our secondary I think is better. I think as a whole, our linebacker core is. I mean, they got.
They have Cody. They have Cody Simon. He's very good. He won the MVP against Oregon. Cody Simon
they got Mr.
Okay,
Michigan
wrong
Flag
guy.
Jack Sawyer and JTT.
Yeah.
I called him Palomalu one time because he has that long, nice hair.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's beautiful hair, and an Ohio State fan got mad because I didn't say his name right. I said I called him Palomalu, one because he's good, and two he has the long hair like Palomalu does. That's why I called him Palomalu. It's a good comparison.
Yeah.
So it's a compliment. But anyway, they got JTT, who's good. Maybe, I don't know, maybe their linebacker core is better. I'd say they're probably better.
Probably more consistent. Cody Simon.
I guess Jack Sawyer is a defensive end. So I'm playing defensive end, so I guess he's a defensive end. But
yeah,
our defense just held the wrong guy. Who's the wrong guy? Oh,
I think about podcast. Yeah,
not the paint guy. Okay, well, either way, you have a cool profile picture. Eddie George is a legend.
Mm-hmm.
So I just don't see how we don't beat Notre Dame, man.
Yeah.
So,
you want me to say what I think about the Notre Dame game?
Yeah, I mean, what do you think about the game? What do you think happens? Like score prediction, all that stuff.
So these teams are very similar. So Notre Dame is a defensive team. Penn State is mainly a defensive team. Just historically, let's be honest. Yeah, he has to be Notre Dame. Notre Dame, whose offense do I trust more, Notre Dame or Penn State's? Penn State's. Whose quarterback? Like I said, Penn State's quarterback is much better than Riley Leonard. Georgia let Riley Leonard run all over the field. He had like 80 yards rushing. Penn State's not allowing that. He might get a first down or two, sure, but he's not going to be able to pass it on us. He had 90 yards against Georgia. Who can score more points on the other team's defense? Penn State is going to score more offensive points than Notre Dame, and that it comes down to a point game. Who scores more points? It's simple math. Notre Dame, like I said, yeah, they got Notre Dame winning. They're high. ESPN's high on them. Probably just because they beat Georgia, and that's the only reason. Georgia failed the whole game.
Yeah, and Mr. Bucknell, just so you know, like if we play Ohio State, like I'm totally predicting, I am totally predicting Ohio State to win that game. I mean, that's just
like, same.
Yeah, like I respect Ohio State. I hate them, but I respect them. You have to respect Ohio State.
Yeah, I'm
totally picking Ohio State. I just think that we may beat them this time. That's all. But anyway, we got to get past. So Penn State defense is better than UGA.
Look at the stats. Look it up. We'll look it up right now. Let's do it. Top.
Yeah, we do,
10.
Man. Like, why are you even saying that? They just lost to Notre Dame. They lost to Riley Leonard.
Yeah. Top defenses. Let me look at the statistics right now.
I don't know how he even thinks that we're not better than Georgia's defense. We're probably the best defense in the country. So.
Let's see here. Points allowed, which that's what it comes down to. Yeah. So Penn State is 7th in the country. Georgia is like 20th. Let me see here. Georgia is like 23rd in the country, points allowed. Penn State is 7th. Pretty sure the math speaks for itself. You're laughing because I just told you a fact, and Penn State's defense is much better. Like, I don't know what you think's funny, but your offensive line is atrocious. You let Notre Dame poop all over your offensive line.
Yeah,
like they pooped everywhere. They pooped everywhere. Yeah.
Get an iPhone.
Yeah.
All right. So.
I give you the math.
Keep going, Brad.
Yeah. So. They're similar teams, right? They're both defensive teams. Like I said, the only position group where Notre Dame statistically is better than us is their cornerback play. But we have A.J. Harris. He's going to lock down their best receiver. Their receiver play is about as good as ours, so it's not saying much. Like both receiving cores, we have some guys that can make plays. Trey Wallace, Amari Evans. They have Faison or whatever his name is.
No, Georgia's defense is better than us, Brett. So, all right, they're better.
Much better, Waldo. I just told you a fact. 7th in the country points allowed. Georgia is 23rd. It's not even remotely close.
Yeah.
Go do some calculus and do some math, and then come back and figure out and then apologize to us because you're wrong.
Yeah.
So
right.
yeah, I don't know what else to tell you. Anyways, yeah, it's going to come down to which quarterback can make the play. Drew Aller over Riley Leonard any day of the week. Simple math.
UGA will have 0 points against them next week. So yeah, that does make them better, Vance. You're right. Georgia's defense is way better than Penn State's. It's established. Let's move on.
Yep. Georgia's defense is good. I'm not saying it's not good, but is it Penn State good? You don't have an Abdul Carter, so simple as that.
Our secondary is unreal.
It's been very good. I mean,
the only best secondary we've ever had.
The only reason they let up a good bit of passing yards is because our goal was to stop the run, and that won us the game, and that's what we did. We stopped the run. We loaded the box. So we got gashed a couple times, but we have 6 interceptions in the last 2 games. We've created 7 turnovers. We got a fumble too in 2 games. That's unreal. Like you're not. Did Georgia do that? Yes, or a couple days ago? No, they didn't. They didn't do that. I don't think they got any turnovers. Right? Yeah, they didn't get any turnovers. So
we have 6 interceptions. 2 freaking games.
We'll just have to live with it. I hope you sleep okay tonight. Penn State's better, so I don't know. Penn State would gas Georgia right now. They'd win by 13.
Probably.
Maybe 16. I don't know.
Even with their starter, man, I think they would beat Georgia. Now that I see how they played against Notre Dame, but
yeah, it'd be just a different game plan. It's hard to say, but Mr. Bucknuts, I like your prediction, 27-23. Like, I think it's going to be close, Mark. I mean, I agree. I think we can beat them, but I think they're going to give us a run for their money. They like to blitz a lot, like Boise State did, and obviously their defense is better than Boise State's, but Boise State obviously had a very good blitz package, so we got to give them credit.
Georgia ASU.
Yeah, right. ASU would slaughter. I love that. I'm glad we're on the same page about Georgia, except for the just completely delusional Waldo Faldo. I like how it rhymes. That's great. You got something going for you. But yeah, 27-23 is a great prediction. I would say 28-23, something like that. If I'm putting a prediction in now, it's going to be low scoring. So we'll be lucky to get to 27. They'll be lucky to get to 23. Let's be honest here. This could be a 21-17 game, Mark. That's what I'm looking at. It's going to be low scoring. It's going to be kind of a bloodbath like the game that was just played with Georgia and Notre Dame. Only Georgia scored 10 points, and that's just disgusting. We'll never just put up 10 points. So,
yeah, I'm pretty much, I want to say we get 28, but I'm just going to say like 24-13. I think that's
reasonable.
That's my prediction, 24-13. I think that's fair. I think that's realistic. 21-17, 24-13. That's our score predictions against Notre Dame. At the end of the day, man, Mr. Bucknuts, you come on here if we play Ohio State and, comment some more. I'm not even going to dive into that game in detail yet, but,
okay.
Yeah, I picked OSU versus Penn State 2 weeks ago to it. Yeah, a lot of people, Jared and Brett picked, It was that night that I was sick. They both picked Ohio State to play Penn State in the national title.
And it's looking good right now. It can happen. So I don't think Texas has enough. Texas couldn't run the ball on ASU. How are they going to run it on Ohio State? Let's be honest here. So Ohio State's winning against Texas. It's not going to be close. I think they win by 2 touchdowns, maybe more. I'm telling you right now. I don't think Texas has enough. As good as some Texas fans think that Quinn Ewers is, he makes some great throws sometimes, and then the other half of the time he throws terrible interceptions. He has 11 picks for the season.
If 34-17, I guess us versus OSU is what he's saying. Yeah, I agree with that. So
he's saying Texas. That's Texas, Ohio State, right? Yeah,
I picked same once bracket came out, all Big Ten championship, which is cool. I mean, at the end of the day, man, think about it. 2 Big Ten teams. I said this years ago, Big Ten would be the dominant conference at some point, even before this expansion. We would be the dominant conference for a few reasons. One being Nick Saban wouldn't coach forever. But, yeah, Big Ten is the dominant conference, man. We got an independent. We got 2 Big Tens and a and a Big 12 team in the playoff right now. We have a Big 12 team in the playoff right now. So we have Big 12, SEC, 2 Big 10s, and an independent. So, Big 10 is the dominant conference. So, and at the end of the day, man, like I've seen other podcasts where if we played a harder bracket, like the way the bracket is set up is horrible. We got there. We're in the Final Four. We deserved to be in the Final Four. We won all the games that we were given. But again, let's say we got the Ohio State bracket, okay? I think we beat Tennessee. I don't know if we beat Oregon. Probably we beat Oregon. But I don't know if we beat Tennessee. Probably beat Oregon. So at the end of the day, man, like Penn State, what their biggest win this whole year is they don't really have a big win. I'm realistic. Like I'm realistic about that. Like I know that. Are we one of the 4 best teams in the country by rankings? Yes. Now, if we had a different bracket, would we still be here? I don't know.
Well, let's not forget, Texas had the same path as us. They played Clemson and ASU. They had the same path as us. Let's not forget that. You can't penalize us for getting the bracket we got. That Penn State got. It's what they got. They didn't choose it. That's just they play who they're scheduled. So, and they took control of those games and could have beat them by even more. Let's be honest. They took it easy.
Yeah, yes, they did have 9 sacks on Gabriel. And, credit goes to them. Vance says it's coverage sacks, which I agree with. Dylan Gabriel, like I said before, he's a little shit, man. Like that little guy running around, man, he's quick, he's got a good arm. He is, man. Like they got him. They got him. Bucks are gonna kill Ewers. Yeah, Ewers kind of sucks, honestly. But he might be your quarterback next year. He might be your quarterback next year, Ohio State. So
you come back home.
Yeah. Like so, at the end of the day, man, Arch Manning, like he's the real deal. I think, honestly, I think if they play Arch Manning, as long as they put weapons around him and they get a good defense, like if they just build around Arch Manning, you're winning a national title, Texas. And this year, if their defense wasn't bad, they could win a national title with Arch Manning. He's better than Quinn Ewers. Quinn Ewers is just older and more experienced. Arch Manning is the real deal. Like, that kid is going number 1, probably going to win a national title, probably going to be a Hall of Famer in the NFL. Like, he's that good. So, Bucks are going to kill Ewers. Pass.
Probably.
Already been rumored he is coming back. Yeah, he's coming back, but I don't think he's coming back to Texas, though.
Oh, you guys want to hear something funny? So apparently I heard there were rumors when Penn State played Oregon had the flu, which I just heard about this the other day. I was like, I never heard about that when we played, right? And then apparently there was a whole Oregon has the flu rumor when they played Ohio State this last week. So you're telling me they got the flu and their 2 biggest games of the year. Doesn't add up. I don't believe it for anything. What's up, Joe?
Duck flu, LOL.
Yeah, the duck flu, man. Apparently.
Joe, again, I asked you this last time. I don't know if you heard it, but are you named after Joe Paterno? Is that who you're named after since your dad played at Penn State? Alexander Mutavelis, the chef, he texted me today, said he's going to the Orange Bowl, which is cool. I don't know where he's sitting. I'm going to have to ask him. I'm going to have to ask him duck flu, LOL. Joe, yeah, he is named after Joe Paterno. That's cool, Joe. All right, Waldo's back. Penn State would go 8-5 on UGA's schedule. Yeah,
no,
I mean,
they wouldn't.
8-5. They're not. I don't know if they're. I mean, if I don't know, man. If Penn State plays in the SEC right now, I don't know what their record is. It may not be 8-5, but it's not going to be a good record.
The SEC is losing to every Big Ten team in the freaking bowl game. So what does that say?
Much easier than Texas. Pretty much 2 group of 5 teams to start. The guys in the trenches make all the difference. I don't think it's easier than Texas, though.
What? Much easier than Texas? No, it's the same. Texas played Clemson. Clemson barely beat the team that we faced, SMU. They beat them by 3.
We're
Same team.
Arizona State probably more convincingly than Texas.
Yeah,
did.
we're not letting Arizona State do what they did on offense. We're not. Our defense is not allowing that to happen. We're not going to let them storm back 17 points down or whatever it was. That doesn't happen.
Owned in these bowls. Stop Big Ten. Owned the SEC right now. Yeah, for sure.
Texas A&M lost to USC. South Carolina lost to Illinois. We beat Illinois, so I don't by a lot. So.
Texas is your only hope. Plus, Texas is first year. Yeah, exactly. Like the SEC, that's not a good look for the SEC. First of all, that an SEC team isn't even representing the SEC. You know what I mean? SEC team. It's their first year. Obviously, Ohio State's always going to be Ohio State. So they represent the Big Ten well. They're always going to be Ohio State.
Penn State has.
They're a program I respect. Clemson, ASU have big guys on the lines.
So does Penn State. Bigger guys.
I wouldn't say Texas had an easier schedule bracket. I wouldn't say that because
I'd say it's the same. I'd say it's about the same.
Smoke Clemson. I think we smoke ASU.
Yeah.
Like Texas is not that good, man. Like they're not. Like we would beat them for sure. I think.
Yeah.
So, you know. You have our score predictions for Penn State, Notre Dame. That's what we think is going to happen. I got 24-13. Brett's got 21-17. I don't think I think that's being generous. I think we could win convincingly, like by more than 2 touchdowns.
If Abdul Carter plays and he gets to Riley Leonard, it's over for them. It's over for him. Even without Abdul Carter. I mean, Vanover had a very good game, so I could see him showing up. Denai Dennis Sutton had a very good game. He's got to chill on the penalties, but other than that.
How did Duke do?
Duke got slaughtered. But Duke didn't have a quarterback. Think about it. Their quarterback just went to Oregon State for no reason. Malik Murphy. Duke did not have a quarterback. It doesn't even count. Who did they have?
SMU and Boise State could not hold the lines. They looked small to PSU lines. Yeah.
I mean, like I said, it's who they scheduled us. We had to show them what's up, and we played bully ball, and that's what we did. We played bully ball against Oregon, ran for 300 yards. What else?
And again, like if we play Ohio State, all respect for me goes to Ohio State. Like I respect them.
Yeah.
I don't like them, but. Like that matchup, man, if we could stop them from starting fast, if we could slow down their offense, and we can just run the ball, have a couple explosive plays, we can win against Ohio State. For sure. Yeah. Mr. Bucknuts respects us too. Thank you. You don't have to, for sure, because we never beat you, but thank you. But you should respect Penn State as a program for sure. So thank you, Mr. Bucknut.
They always put up a fight. So
yeah, they do. I respect Penn State. I hate Michigan.
Yep, we hate Michigan too.
Man,
so adds up. They cheat. So
that's just crazy that they beat Ohio State, man. Like that's just insane.
In Alabama.
And most of our hate towards. Most of our celebration for Michigan being Ohio State was towards Gus Johnson. It wasn't necessarily towards Ohio State.
Yeah.
I love it. Been a PSU fan since the 70s. Haha, we are. So, at the end of the day, man, like Ohio State, if you don't respect Ohio State, I really don't know what to tell you, but they are pretty lucky that they got Urban Meyer because he was going to come to Penn State, if the scandal didn't happen. Even though he's from Ohio, has the Chop restaurant in Ohio. Like, he's an Ohio guy. Mm-hmm. But nobody talks about – Texas doesn't have a big win either. Yeah, nobody talks about that, though. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, they don't.
They're 2 losses to Georgia, man.
Yep.
I mean –
a bad Georgia team that lost to Notre Dame.
Yeah, Joe's right. Like, they don't talk about that, man. They don't talk about how Texas – they don't have a big win either. And they probably had an easier schedule than us this year.
There were a couple people I saw talk about it. Like they were like, well, hey, let's talk about Texas too. But not as many people are talking about it. You're right. Vanderbilt.
It's Vanderbilt.
Which is wild, but yeah.
Yeah.
This is where we're at.
Brett, I'll be right back. You keep talking. All right.
Okay. Yeah. Notre Dame is a fun game. I like the matchup. Whenever the game started, I just, the way it was panning out, I just knew Notre Dame was going to beat Georgia. I picked them before the game started to beat Georgia. I thought Georgia Gunner Stockton would put up more than a fight, but his offensive line was absolutely terrible. Worst offensive line play I've seen in a while. A lot of penalties in that game as well, which there were in the Penn State Boise game too. So hopefully we can get rid of some of the penalties. I think Ole Miss could beat Texas. Yeah, I could see that happening. I don't take anything from Ole Miss's bowl win against Duke. Like I said, Malik Murphy, the Duke quarterback, transferred to Oregon State. So who do they even have as a backup quarterback? I don't put any stock in that, but when Ole Miss looks good, they look good. So I think they could beat Texas. Maybe they'll play next year, and we'll see. I'll have to take a look at that. Let's see here. Ole Miss 2025 schedule. Let's see. Of course, Ole Miss starts out with Furman in Middle Tennessee because that's how they like to live. Georgia Southern is too. That's cute. Wow. So Ole Miss doesn't play Texas next year either. So this is 2024. Where's 25? Georgia State. Huh. Yeah, they don't play Texas next year either. So who knows when we'll see an Ole Miss Texas matchup. But that would definitely be a good game to watch. You guys got any score predictions to put in the chat for the Penn State Notre Dame game? Who you think's going to win? What do you think it's going to look like? I know Bucknuts gave us a score prediction already. Joseph, you got a score prediction for the Penn State Notre Dame game? Oh, nice. At the Penn State game when Joe Pa beat OSU to get the all-time wins record. That's what's up.
Yeah, and then Mr. Bucknut says, I think Ole Miss, yeah, they probably could.
And I just looked it up. For us. Ole Miss does not even play Texas next year either. So who knows when we'll see that matchup? No idea.
Josie was at 324.
Yep.
That's cool. Yeah, they came back 27-3, I think was the score. They came back from 27-3. I think they held them to 3 points in the second half, and they won like 29-27 or something like that.
Yeah, I think so. I asked the chat some score predictions for the Penn State Notre Dame game. Obviously, we only got one from Bucknuts. I asked Joe as well. If you guys have any predictions on that.
Josie, are you female or male? Just going off that name. I'm not making fun of anybody. I'm just asking you.
Yeah, it's just it's a unisex name, so yeah.
Yeah. We had Josie. We had a female on here the other day, so I'm just curious. I think 5% of our analytics show that 5% of our audience is female.
Okay, that's cool.
So, but yeah, what's you guys' score predictions for Penn State Notre Dame? We gave ours. I also invested in some blackout curtains. You guys should invest in something like that. Part of the reason being right in front of me is a window and the sun would come in. These blackout curtains are insane.
Yeah.
You lose track of like daylight or daytime because of how dark it gets. Notre Dame should join the Big Ten. Yeah, they should for sure.
They're a Big Ten type of team. Like I said, they're a similar type of team to Penn State. So I do respect them, but like I don't respect them thinking they're going to dog walk us because that's not going to happen in this world or the next world. Like whatever, it's not going to happen. So I don't respect the way they talk. So I never said we would throttle them and dog walk them. I said it's going to be a good game. So
Mr. Bucknuts Burke, is he the real deal?
He's hit or miss from what I've seen. Igbinosun has been good, but he holds a lot. So
I think Denzel Burke. I think Caleb Downs is probably a first-round pick. I mean, he's the real deal.
Oh yeah, and
Nick Saban said,
he has one more year to play.
Nick Saban said that's the best safety he ever coached.
Yeah.
24-14. Yeah.
Nice.
Denzel Burke is the real deal.
Thanks for stopping in, Vance.
Yeah, so he is when he wants to not hold. Yeah.
Igbinosun's good when he doesn't hold. I can give him that.
But yeah, man, that would be insane if Ohio State and Penn State played in the national title. If I'm Ohio State, like I'm not like as a team, obviously they're going to be prepared. As a fan base, I'd be like, we're going to beat them, no problem. But who knows, man? Who knows? But that would be an insane. That would redeem James Franklin tenfold if he beat Ohio State in the national title. I mean, he would be totally redeemed for losing the big game by beating a very good team in the most important game. That doesn't mean he could do it consistently from that on, but yeah. So
for us to beat Ohio State in the Natty, if this happens, we would need to create turnovers. That's how we would win. If we don't create any turnovers, we're not beating them. It's simple as that. I forgot to mention also the Notre Dame game. We didn't mention Tyler Warren at all. The alien that's walking the earth. I mean, there's multiple aliens. Let's be honest. There's a lot of aliens on Earth, but Tyler Warren is the most known alien in college football, and he is on Penn State. They do not have a Tyler Warren on Notre Dame. They just don't have him. So I like our chances there. We're going to go to Tyler Warren early and often, and they can do their best to cover him. That's great. They'll probably hold him, but
Dalton Kincaid, Michael Mayer, freaking Bowers. I think Tyler Warren's better than all of those guys.
He can do everything. That's why
they had like some. I think it was it last year or the year before they had a lot of tight ends going early, and I think he's better than all of them. No offense to any of them, but
no.
Yeah.
So. And what Brock Bowers did at the Raiders, my team this year, and the Raiders are terrible, but he put up crazy stats for the Raiders this year. So hats off to him. Yeah. True.
He's a fellow Raider.
Nice. Our team sucks, man. I don't know what we're going to do for the Raiders, but I'm glad we have Brock Bowers at least. We need to get a quarterback. So.
All right, guys. Well, I have really nothing else to point out. How about you, Brett?
I don't think so. It's a pretty straightforward game. Both have really good defenses, right? Both have good running games, but Notre Dame cannot run the ball for crap against Georgia. I see us stopping the run. They might get a run or two, like for 15, 20 yards. That's great. But we have Katron Allen, and he literally runs over people for a living. If you didn't watch the Boise State game, he's a punisher, and he's playing his best ball as of late. And Nick Singleton can break the big one. So, yeah, Penn State's going to get the dub. Let's do it.
All right, guys. Again, we're going to do a 500 subscriber giveaway. And for hitting 500 subscribers, to enter, you have to comment on a live show. So, Mr. Bucknuts, you're in. We're doing that. At 1,000, we're going to do an even bigger one. But, yeah, going to do a 500 subscriber giveaway. So, again, to enter, just comment on a live show, and you'll be entered. So, I have nothing else to say. Brett has nothing else to say. Thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you guys for listening. Thank you guys for commenting. Mr. Bucknuts, good luck Friday. Maybe we'll see you on the 20th in Atlanta. And prayers to all the victims of the terrorist attack.
Yeah. Seriously.
That stuff will be turned around once we get our guy in office. So, prayers go to those families, the victims, and everybody
just
involved
awful.
in that.
Yeah, just terrible.
Yeah. But it's 2025, guys. New year, new you. Take advantage, and we will see you guys Thursday after the game for post game. Brett, I will talk to you, man. You guys have a good day.
Have a good one, guys.